All right, welcome back, my loves. As we continue in with part two of this intuitive message from Spirit, amen. Welcome back as we continue with part two of this intuitive message from Spirit, right? So, what we had here so far is a masculine who discovered that his girlfriend was a diamond in the rough, right? Was a diamond in the rough. With spiritual abilities, right, that were passed down to her from her ancestral blood lineage, right? And so she holds the sword of truth, right? And this masculine just so happened to be dealing with this older woman, right? That she could be this Scorpio, right? Or she had Scorpio in her birth natal chart, and she was in this energy during the time when this masculine was dealing with her. I feel, you know, more. I feel more than likely she was this Scorpio woman, right? Because that was in her feelings, right? When it came to this masculine, right? And so, she wanted this. She was the one who went peeping through this woman that the tree of life represents, right? This woman that was this masculine's girlfriend that the tree of life represents. She wanted this woman to be heartbroken by this masculine, right? For dealing with her behind the scenes, right? And so she wanted basically this masculine to put his feelings aside for his girlfriend, who was his diamond in the rough, right? And he discovered she's both of these two, this older woman and this woman's masculine, discovered that this girlfriend of his, was turning into something great, right? Because this older woman went peeping through this woman's Akashic records, right? And so she wanted, basically what she wanted was this masculine to feel like his girlfriend was the one who conjured up these dark entities, right? But I feel that this masculine went peeping, went doing some research for himself, right? I feel that this masculine went doing some research for himself and discovered that his girlfriend, whose Akashic records were, I feel that that's what made him go, do research on this girlfriend himself, right? And discovered, her bloodline lineage and the power that she holds, within, that this is where she gets this knowledge from, right? And that's why he told this older woman that we both know I'm not the one for you, right? Because he figured out what this old woman's intentions were, right? When it came to peeping through his girlfriend's Akashic records. And so like I said, she was the one who actually conjured up these dark entities, right? Right? To keep this masculine and non-committal energy with this girlfriend of his, right? Because, she was jealous. She was jealous of your relationship. She was jealous of your relationship. And so, and wanted this masculine to be, wanted this masculine to have this broken heart, right? Wanted this masculine to have this broken heart because she wanted him to think that, she wanted him to feel like his girlfriend was the one who conjured up these dark entities, just to be, near him, or just to be with him. Yeah, she wanted this masculine. I think, this girlfriend conjured up these dark entities just to keep him around or whatever. And so he discovered, who was the actual one that was intoxicating, was this older woman, right? Always wanting to be near him, right? And so, yeah, she was dealing with your masculine, and having, sex behind the scenes with your masculine, right? And gave him this sexually transmitted demon. Yeah, and gave him this sexually transmitted demon. Um, gave him this sexually transmitted demon. That's the reason, he's having these, that's the reason he's having these sleepless nights, right? Because he's in his feelings. He's in his feelings. Um, he's in his feelings about, this girlfriend that he once had, who holds the sword of truth, right? And so, this older woman, that he was having this sex behind the scenes with, she, transferred this sexually transmitted demon onto him, right? So that, his feelings would get crossed up, right, with who he loved, who he actually loved, right? So his feelings would get crossed up with who he actually have love for. And so the purpose of her doing, this older woman doing this spell work on this divine feminine, was to have this masculine mind to think this way about her, convince herself, I bury myself and work to forget you. That's what she wanted. That's what she was doing the spell work on the divine feminine for. She wanted this masculine to bury, himself in work to forget you, right? And what happened was, what happened with this spell work was, the only thing it did was get this masculine in their feelings of wanting, to tell you how they feel, right? Because this sexual transmitted demon that she had and he had, right, have both of these two, this masculine and this older woman, in their fields, right? Because he didn't use protection, right? He didn't use protection with this older woman, and that's how he embodied this sexually transmitted demon. And so what ended up happening, this sexually transmitted demon just have both of these two in their fields, right? She in his feels about him, he in his feels about you. You, who this tree of life represents, right? And so he's in the energy of, I bury myself, his mind to convince himself that now that he knows what this older woman's intentions were, right? Intentions were to, have you, who the tree of life represents, heartbroken by the fact that he was dealing with this woman, right? Her intentions were to have you heartbroken, once the truth get revealed, who this masculine was dealing with, right? Once the truth get revealed, who this masculine was dealing with, which is this woman who's on the bottom of the deck, that's having anxiety, right? Because she's worrying about the spell work she did on the divine feminine, right? And she's worrying about the consequences of that, right? She's worrying about the consequences of her doing spell work on the divine feminine, right? That she may be in trouble for it, right? Because like I forestated in the beginning of the reading, divine has always had favor in this woman's life, right? Ever since she was a child. So, divine takes care of his of who he loves, right? Divine takes care of his chosen ones, right? Yeah, he really does. He takes care of his chosen ones, and anyone that, does them of harm, you know what the Bible says: touch not the anointed and do the prophets no harm. So, that's what she's worrying about. The spell work she done on the divine feminine and what's going to happen for her, for the consequences, right? With the consequences of it, right? And so now it's like, the one, when it comes to which one of these energies going to be the one that's heartbroken, right? I feel is going to be, uh, I feel it's going to be this woman that's having this anxiety, right? Because, the masculine's already, the spell work is already done backfired, with this masculine wanting to communicate how he feeling, how he feel about her, because he feel like she's heartbroken by what she's about to find out, right? About him dealing with this woman. So I feel like, it could go either way with one of these two. Either this masculine is going to end up heartbroken once he tell this girlfriend how he feels, or this woman that's having this anxiety going to be heartbroken, right? One of these two going to be heartbroken when it comes to, when it comes to this situation. One of these two going to be heartbroken. I feel that it's either the masculine, once he communicate to this girlfriend, who was once this person's girlfriend, once he communicate, I don't want to tell you how I feel. It's either this masculine's going to be heartbroken, and, well, it could be the woman that holds the sword of truth, because, that card falls right beside her, too. So, one of these three going to be heartbroken. It's either going to be this masculine. He could be heartbroken by the fact that this woman was doing spell work on the divine feminine and him. This could have him heartbroken. The woman, the girlfriend that holds the sword of truth, going to be heartbroken because, once the truth get revealed that this woman was doing spell work on the divine feminine, this could have her heartbroken by the fact that, this masculine was dealing with the older woman that was doing spell work on both of these two. That could have her heartbroken. And this older woman gonna be heartbroken. She could end up heartbroken as well because, once this masculine found out what she done, and no longer have feelings for her, she gonna be heartbroken. So, all three of these energies could end up heartbroken when it comes to this situation. So we're gonna get ready to pull four energy blocks, right? 4 energy blocks to we can get ready to pull 4 energy blocks to get what blockages were created. What blockages were created? What blockages? I'm sorry, y'all. What blockages these energies created for themselves, right? When it comes to the situation. Okay. All right, y'all. So, when it comes to what blockages were created, what blockages these energies created for themselves when it comes to this situation, right? Okay, so this masculine that was in karmic energy, right? Um, this masculine that was in karmic energy, um, he it's like he didn't know how to. He didn't okay with this first energy block. This masculine that was in karmic energy, he didn't know how to tell. He didn't know how to tell um this girlfriend. He didn't know how to tell this girlfriend, right? He didn't know how to tell. Okay, he didn't know how to tell this woman that he had this girlfriend, right? That's why he was keeping you a secret. He didn't know how to tell this woman that he had this girlfriend, right? That's why he was keeping you a secret, right? Because yeah. So this masculine that was in karmic energy didn't know how to tell um this woman, right? That he had this girlfriend, right? That's why he was keeping you a secret, right? Because of this other woman, right? Because of this other woman. And so because of this other woman who gave this masculine this fake apology, right? Who gave this masculine this fake apology, right? Because she didn't want this man to she didn't want this man to stop being she didn't want this man to stop being in this non-committal energy, right? And so yeah, she didn't want this man to she didn't want this man to start being in this non-committal energy, right? It's like because this man it's like this man, right? He didn't know, you know, this man didn't know this man didn't know if he wanted to be married, or this man didn't know, you know, he it's like this masculine, right, didn't know whether he wanted to be married or not, right? And so this masculine didn't know whether he wanted to be married or not, right? And so that's what made this woman give him this fake apology, right? Because he he told this woman, we both know I'm not the one for you, right? And felt like she conjured up these dark energies, right? These dark entities, right? Because he it's like, yeah, this masculine didn't know whether or not he wanted to be married. That's why she offered him this fake apology, right? and told her, we both, cause he told her, we both know I'm not the one for you, right? Cause I feel like I feel like he know who conjured up these dark entities. This older woman, right? I feel like yeah. I feel like he know who conjured up these dark entities. It was this older woman, right? Because she was jealous of your relationship, right? And that's why this masculine was wanted to set the record straight, because because he was like he no longer wanted to be like available, right? He no longer wanted to be available, right? He no longer wanted to be available to her, right? He didn't no longer want to be in this available energy, right? He no longer wanted to be in this available energy for her, with her. And so, yeah. Yeah, he no longer wanted to be in this available energy for her, right? That's why she got jealous of your relationship and started, making, making a wish, that um he no longer wanted to be available for this girlfriend, and start making a wish that he no longer want to be available for this girlfriend either, right? Yeah. And so it's like that's what, gave him this broken heart, right? That's what gave him this broken heart, right? Because it's like this woman that was conjured up these older woman that conjured up these dark entities was like intoxicating to him, right? Like she was like stifling, right? She was like these dark entities was like it was starting to like take over him, you know, take over him, take over, take over him in a toxic way, right? And that was giving him this broken heart, these entities, these dark entities, because it was like, you know, this older woman that conjured him up, you know, she is like she was embodying them too, and so that what was intoxicating her, having these entities, right? Her having these entities, her carrying these entities around, and that were intoxicating him, right? Because that were intoxicating him. Her her going around with these dark entities intoxicating him, right? Stifling him, right? Stifling him, right? To always want to be around her, and yeah, and that's what gave him this broken heart. These dark entities were stifling him. He just stifling him, and he, had to like spare this Scorpio feelings, right? Over his diamond in the rough, girlfriend, right? And discovered that she was this, you know, turning into something great. And so, it's like that's why he feel like, this is a love story once upon a time, right? Cause you know, it's like he like, it's like he never would have, it's like he never would have felt that this woman would like, it's like this masculine would have never felt that this woman that was jealous of your relationship would do something like this to these two, right? Yeah, he never would have thought that this woman that was jealous of your relationship would do something like this to these two who had this love story, right? And so it's like, and it's like he don't just want this to be a love story now, once upon a time, right? But being that he has this sexual transmitted demon, right? Um, this may just be, you know, how it's gonna be. A love story once upon a time, right? And so that's why this masculine has these sleepless nights, because he's in his feelings, because he just don't want this to be a love story once upon a time. He just wants these two, back in this energy of having this love story. But you know, but so that's basically, what this message was about, right? So we gonna this masculine, yeah, that's basically what this situation about. This masculine, is feeling like this was once. This masculine is feeling like this was once a love story that he. This masculine is now feeling like this. Now that he has this sexual transmitted demon, right? Now that he has this, he feeling like this just a love story once upon a time, and he just don't want this to be just a love story once upon a time. He just wants his love of his life back, basically. But being that he has this sexual transmitted demon on him, this may just well be what it's gonna be when it comes to this situation. So we gonna pull some zodiacs. We gonna pull some zodiac energies to get this old. Well, we already know what the older woman in zodiac sign when it comes to this situation is Scorpio. So we gonna get what sign this woman that the tree of life represents, and this masculine zodiac sign, right? And then we're gonna close it out with what spirit wants you to know in order to heal, right? What spirit wants you to know in order to heal when it comes to what spirit wants you to know, right? In order to heal, right? In order to heal. Well, I'm sorry. What spirit wants you to know to start your healing journey when it comes to this situation. Let's see. We're gonna get a couple of zodiac signs for this woman that the tree of life represents, and this masculine. Holy Spirit, I need an energy card for this woman that the tree of life represents, please. Holy Spirit, I need an energy card for this woman that the tree of life represents, please. Keep in mind that okay. So you could be this Gemini, right? Or you could have Gemini in your chart, right? You could have Gemini. You could be this Gemini, or you could have Gemini in your chart, right? When it comes to communicating, when it comes to communicating, your your uh your when it comes to communicating your spiritual gifts to the world, right? You could be this Gemini, or you could have Gemini in your chart, right? When it comes to communicating these spiritual gifts to the world, right? This woman, right? That's about to blow up, right? That's about to blow up with these infinite possibilities, right? So yeah, right. About to blow up with these, nowhere but to the top. About to blow up with these infinite possibilities, right? Let's get a card for this masculine, right? Oh yeah, see, double confirmation on this Scorpio. That's why this Scorpio, yeah, went peeping through your cosmic records, right? Yeah, double confirmation on this older woman. Definitely, she was definitely a Scorpio. Yeah, she was definitely a Scorpio, honey. Let's get a card for this masculine. Yeah. Yeah, so, this one, you could be this Gemini, like I said, or have Gemini in your chart. Oh, okay. Have Gemini in your chart. Or this could have happened. This could happen during Gemini. This could happen during Gemini season, right? So you could be this Gemini or have Gemini in your chart, right? When it comes to communicating these spiritual gifts to the world, right? Or this girlfriend could be this Taurus, right? This Taurus, right? That's about to communicate, to that's about to communicate these spiritual gifts, right? During Gemini season, right? Yeah. You could be this Taurus. Earth energy, you could be this Taurus, right? That's about to communicate, right? It's about to communicate these spiritual gifts to the world during Gemini season, right? You could be this Taurus, right? Yeah, I'm feeling that. You could be this Taurus, right? Let's get one more. Let's get one more for this masculine, please, Spirit. Let's get one more for this masculine. And we're going to wrap this. We're going to wrap this up. Let me get one more. Let me get a card. Let me get a zodiac energy card for this masculine, please, Holy Spirit. Thank you. All right. And your person could be, your person could be this Libra or have Libra in their chart and wanted to balance things, tried to balance things out with having this girlfriend and this older woman, right? And was trying to balance things out until, till she conjured up these dark entities. Till she conjured up these dark entities, right? That's what made this masculine hot, right? And that's what made this masculine hot. Right? That's what made this masculine hot, because he was, this had put him in his feelings, right? This had put him in his feelings of having this broken heart once he found out who was the one that actually, conjured up these dark energies. Let me get one more. This had put him in his feelings. This had put him in his feelings, right? This had put him in his feelings of wanting to, tell this girlfriend how he, really felt about her. Cause all it did was give him, put him in Pisces energy, all in his feelings, cause he was the one that had this broken heart, right? And all the spell work did was make him wanna, Capricorn energy, make him wanna, you know, really tell this woman that holds the sword um, the truth. And so, tell the truth, make him want to tell this girlfriend that holds the sword the truth, right? He could have been in Capricorn, because he could be in Capricorn energy, really wanting to talk. Really wanting to talk about who was doing this, really wanting to talk, really wanting to really wanting to talk because he feel like, you upset, right? He feel like, you upset. He feel like you upset. He feel like you upset with this Virgo. He feel like you upset with this Virgo. And so, yeah. And so that concludes, that concludes what zodiacs energies this woman that the tree of life represents. She this could happen, like I said, this could happen during Gemini season, that she communicate to the world these spiritual gifts. She could be this tourist, that was this person's girlfriend, right? And that was this person's girlfriend, and he was trying to balance things out between this older woman, right? Who was this Scorpio, who was this Scorpio, and was in her feelings about it, about what she found out, was in her feelings about what she found out about this person's girlfriend being this diamond in the rough, turning into something great. And wanted him to be in his feelings, right? This Scorpio woman wanted him to be in his feelings, she wanted him to be all emotional, have all these emotions for her, sparing her feelings, right? Wanted him to be all in his feelings. Wanted him to have all these feelings for her, She wanted him to have all these feelings for her, right? She wanted him to feel like she still wanted him to feel like it was all about her. And it was just stifling to this masculine, who could have been this Virgo, right? Really wanting to talk to this girlfriend that he had this love story with, because he feel like she hot. He feel like she gonna be hot once she found, he feel like she gonna be hot with him once she find out who this woman that he was dealing with behind the scenes was doing. His spell work on her and him. So that's basically what it is when it comes to this situation. And so to close this message out, right? Spirit wants you to know to start your healing journey, right? Spirit is saying reaching your goal, right? Everything you want from this connection will manifest in the near future. Wow. Okay. So Spirit wants this. Spirit wants. Spirit wants this girlfriend to know that you reaching your goal, right? Or this could go for this masculine and this girlfriend that holds the sword of truth, right? Spirit wants you to know that everything, this could go for both of these two. Spirit wants you to know that you're reaching your goal when it comes to this woman who holds the sword of truth. And as far as this masculine is concerned, right? Spirit wants you to know everything you want from this connection will manifest in the near future. Yeah, that's the message to the masculine. That was a message to the masculine and the woman and this girlfriend who holds the sword of truth. Spirit wants you to know you're reaching your goal, and as far as this masculine is concerned, Spirit wants this masculine to know that this love story that was once upon a lifetime, right? Spirit wants you to not just to consider this a love story, right? Not just to continue, not just to continue, not just considering this a love story once upon a time. Spirit is saying everything you want from this connection will manifest in the near future, right? You just have to you just have to you have to, this Virgo have to cleanse your energy, right? Clean your energy of having this sexual transmitted demon. You have to clear your energy of this. Okay? And so that was your reading, my love. Yeah. You have to clean your energy from this sexual transmitted demon before, this love story can come back together. Yeah, you have to clean your energy from this sexual transmitted demon so that this just doesn't have to be just a love story. You have to clean your energy from this sexual transmitted demon. So that this just doesn't have to be, because this just doesn't have to be a love story. You just have to cleanse your energy of this sexual transmitted demon. Okay? All right. And yeah, so that was your reading, my loves. That was your intuitive message that Spirit wanted you to know at this moment in time. And if this message resonated with you, I was glad to be the vessel used to give you the confirmation that was needed to start your healing journey. And until next time, my loves, that we meet again, right? Until next time that we meet again, my loves, I want you to stay blessed and take care. I love you guys. See you guys on the next message, all right? Stay blessed.